A lot. They're gonna love you a lot.
Success! Pudding!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man we've all been waiting for. And waiting for. That man is Marcus the Motivator.
Marcus the Motivator here. Today I am here with artist and musician Deco. You do work with the band Jungle Fusion, is that correct?
Yes. Hi, Marcus.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm great. Pretty hot weather today.
Yeah, it's been a bit warm outside today, it's pretty good. It's fantastic to have you here. Now, first question that I want to ask you is, how did you start? How did it all start for you, your music for you? Where was the passion and drive that wanted you to do music in the first place?
All right. So, I come from a music family.
Yep.
My mother is a pianist and a teacher, music teacher. My father used to sing in rock bands a long time ago. So they tried to present music to me and guide me through it. And I started with classical music, and then it was interesting for a while. Then I wanted to explore more.
Yep.
So I went to the Jazz Academy.
Yep.
And that's when I progressed more towards music.
So your parents obviously had a big influence on you to start with. Was it interesting, like, one having that teaching kind of more classical background and your father having kind of that heavy metal kind of, did that give you like the variety and give you a taste of a bit of everything?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I am right now. So my mother was always pushing towards classical music from Beethoven, Mozart and all that.
Yep.
Practicing etudes and sonatas all day long.
Yep.
So I basically sacrificed a lot of my childhood doing that. But my father was always forcing, heavy metal, as you said.
Yep.
From the Stones, Zeppelin and all that.
Yep.
And the interesting fact is that I didn't move on going on studying music in high school, which was normal to do.
Yep.
Actually, my parents thought, it's not a good idea. We don't want to get you into music artificially. Let's say, we want you to naturally discover music, and if you really like it, then you can move on at uni.
Yep.
So that's what happened, actually. That I always wanted to explore. I always wanted to improvise, even though my teachers were always, that's not what Beethoven wrote. I always tried to add something. So I studied classical piano and guitar at the same time. I forgot to mention that.
So you obviously had that. You had some training in classical and a bit of that heavy metal influence. You do, as you're saying, you then went a bit away from that and you went more towards doing some jazz kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
How did you fall into that? How did that come about? How did you find that? Were you kind of looking for something different to what you'd learnt growing up?
Yeah, right. I was looking for something different, and rock wasn't an option. Where I'm coming from. I'm coming from Macedonia.
Yep.
Small country in the Balkans. And we had a jazz academy open recently. In 2007, I think. Yep. And then I said, why not? I want to explore something more, because all the guitarists I listened to, even Hendrix, let's say, he's a rock guitarist.
Yeah.
He was my idol. He tends to improvise, and they even did something, almost did something with Miles Davis.
Yep.
Which never happened, fortunately. Yes, I wanted to explore. I wanted to get the fusion,
Yep.
rock, classical, jazz, everything together. And the Jazz Academy seemed like a field that I wasn't really comfortable with.
Yep.
Listening to jazz guitars, which is completely different than the rock.
Yep.
And that's basically it.
So how was that Jazz Academy for you? Did it kind of give you that stepping stone to where you wanted? Did that give you that stepping stone and that information to where you really wanted to get to and where you are now today? Did that help you? Or was that a big help for you?
Yes, a lot. First of all, I was one of the youngest there. I think we were 3 of us. We were the same age. I was 19 when I enrolled. And all the rest were big guns, top cats in terms of rock and jazz. They knew something and they came.
Yep.
They enrolled in the uni to improve. So there was a big competition for me. As I said, when I went there, okay, and then I remember I played some West Montgomery for the enrollment process. And you always, in the rock, you always play distortion, overdrive and all that. With the jazz, it was a different feel, different. First of all, it was everything was swinged, clean note, and the progressions were just so complicated. In rock, you have four chords. In jazz, you might have 20, 30.
Yep.
And you have to improvise over that. So it was pretty challenging. I had to change my tone. I had to change from playing too much legato to going more staccato.
Yep.
Listening to guys like Pat Martino and Schofield.
You said you had obviously amazing teachers at your school just then. How much information, like how much confidence did they give you to improve and better yourself? Like what did they give you that you didn't already?
Freedom.
Yeah.
They gave us complete freedom. It was not it was a jazz academy, right? But not a typical jazz academy where you produce, let's say, which I believe Berkeley is something like that right now. When you like a machinery, okay, you produce 10 of the same package.
Yep.
And you have 10 great guitarists that play amazing, but they all sound the same.
Yep.
So our teachers, they always tend to teach us originality, how to become original, how to compose and all that. We're very lucky because all of them actually, they finished Berkeley College in the States, in Boston. My guitar teacher, Tony, then the harmony teacher, Pejovsky. They were basically with Schofield, Martini and all those guys, big cats in New York City. And but the originality part, that's what I like. Like they never said, okay, you have to play like that. If you want to go in gypsy jazz style, you can go, but it's your path. If you want to go bebop, you can go bebop. If you want to go fusion, that's your choice. But we're going to respect that. We can show you our ways, and then you go on.
How was that feeling for you, knowing that you had people teaching you that were going to allow you to be who you wanted to be, and they were going to allow you to play the music that you wanted to play? How did that make you feel?
At the start, to be honest, it was hard because it was like, okay, wow, I came here to study. They give me all this information, but it was too much philosophy for that age. Because jazz is, you learn jazz until you die, they say.
Yep.
You always improve and you're never satisfied. At the start, the first year was, we had ups and downs. It was pretty basic. We mainly were focused on blues.
Yep.
So that's an interesting fact. We study jazz, but it's the blues form you have to understand before you go on with the jazz.
Yep.
But jamming with the teachers, improvising with them, listening to their ideas and all that helped a lot. obviously we had patterns, we had homework, we had, okay, learn this, learn the jazz harmony, which is pretty advanced. But we always had the freedom in order to play the way we want. Doesn't matter how avant-garde it sounded. For example, yeah, I can say this. Okay, first time we had a jam with the teacher, I mean, over a 12-bar blues progression, and then I started playing. I'm playing a lot of out notes. For some of my colleagues, it didn't sound right. It sounded pretty out, but I liked it. And that avant-garde, probably I'm influenced by my teachers, Tony as well.
Yep.
And yeah, that's why I'm
kind of where you are now today, pretty
Exactly.
much. So moving on from your schooling and training, tell us some of the opportunities and some of the work that you've done now. What opportunities, and describe some of like the work you've done, your performances you've done, where they've been, and how that's made you feel, and how it's like motivated you to keep working more and more and becoming better and better.
Where do I start? You mean about the Jungle Fusion Pro, the most recent one, or all the previous projects?
Even let's start with some more the previous stuff that got before the Jungle Fusion stuff.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, when I was in the rock age, yeah, I used to play with one amazing guitarist back there. It was more rock music.
Yep.
Bon Jovi kind of stuff. When I joined the academy, we made a band with our colleagues. It's called the Jezebel Quintet.
Yep.
And we tend to play Miles Davis music, Coltrane's, Diana Krall, and some standards and vocal jazz. And then we were one of the first bands to start playing around my city.
Yep.
Which is Kumano. And we changed a lot of members. And then after playing so many standards and so on, we were invited to a couple of festivals.
Yep.
And we started with our original music.
Yep.
The highlight is that we played the Skopje International Jazz Day.
Yep.
Day of Jazz, which is in April 30, I think. Yeah, it's all over the world.
All over the world, yeah.
And it was a great experience performing in front of thousands.
How was that feeling, like performing in front of thousands and thousands of people, like the music that you and your other band members had made at the time? How was that feeling for you personally?
Well, it wasn't scary because it was five of us.
Yeah.
So when you're in a group like that, you feel confident. Of course, you're a little bit nervous because we had a lot of musicians there, musicians that play every jazz festival in the world.
Yep.
Attending that festival, and it was they were celebrating Thelonious Monk's music that day. But it was great. It was great. There was a jam session afterwards, even,
yep.
And we shared the stage with the great musicians.
So so clearly that experience you had just makes things for you. It gives you a wonderful feeling to know that the ability you have to play the music that you have, that you can do it at a level that you're really that you're extremely happy with and you're probably very proud of. Moving on from back when you played those jazz festivals, moving forward, talk about how you've got to where you are now with Jungle Fusion. How did that start up? How did that form?
Jungle Fusion, well, I always wanted to. So in the Jezebel project, my wife she's still there. She's a great pianist and musician. Yep. Part of Phileas Folk Trio at the moment. pretty big in Melbourne at the moment.
Yep.
Playing Bird's Basement, Paris Cat, and all that. And the Jezebel, it's called now the Jezebel due to London Connection. But we always wanted to do something separate.
Yep.
So she started the Phileas Folk Trio. And 2016, I think, I wanted to express myself differently.
Yep.
So Jungle Fusion started with my idea to share the music of so everything I've learned, everything I've played, everything I want to play, connecting Miles Davis and Hendrix.
Yep.
So in history, we know that Hendrix was supposed to play with Davis when he started the Band of Gypsies, and Miles Davis even started playing with a lot of guitarists like Scofield and Mike Stern.
Yep.
But that never happened, and I always wanted to imagine how that music will sound. Always went to my mind, and that's how Jungle Fusion happened. I said, okay, I'm gonna play something that's with that in mind, Miles and Hendrix.
So Jungle Fusion basically came about because of basically all the work you had done previously, and you've pretty much decided, I pretty much want to do something now that expresses who I am, who I want to be, and the music that I want to play. How does that feel for you, knowing that now you have a platform for you to be able to express who you want to be and play the music you want to play? How does that feel, knowing that you're doing that? Because I'm sure for every musician, that's the ultimate, is it not?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it feels great. It feels amazing to be able to do whatever you want, the way you want. Another thing, Jungle Fusion, apart from Hendrix and Miles, I'm trying to share the music of my country.
Yep.
So, as you may be aware, that the music in the Balkans is different than the Western music.
Yep.
So that's another connection that I'm making, East meets West.
Yep.
I even have a song like that. So putting all that Eastern vibe and the odd meter, let's say 7/8, 9/8, 11/8, in a more Western way.
Yep.
And I'm inspired by animals,
Yep.
like wolves, kangaroos, and all that. If you check my songs, they're named by animals because that's also a big inspiration for me. Like the wolf, which you don't have in Australia, I think.
No, we generally don't
They
have
live
wolves
in the
here.
forests and all
Yep.
that, and we have plenty of them in Macedonia. And so, you have a wolf in Australia, which doesn't exist. It's like something new.
Yeah.
And you have a kangaroo in the jungle, which I don't think they go in the jungle.
Kangaroos generally don't go in jungles normally.
So that's the avant-garde philosophy of mine. And as I say, I have a jazz soul,
Yep.
but my heart still beats rock. So
there's a bit of both going on
Yes.
there, kind of
Yes.
thing. So what's the music scene back like in Macedonia in terms of the music you play? Because as you said, you've tried to bring some of that. You're bringing some of that out. Explain to people out there, like how does someone from there come to playing music here, and explain like how that music translates into what you do now.
Well, that music is we mainly use the, let's say, not the Macedonian. Okay, there is a Macedonian scale, but the Spanish scale or the Phrygian scale. So it's kind of a more harmonic minor vibe that's happening, but it's more about the odd meter. Most of the songs are composed in 7, and the dances are composed in 7/8, 9/8. So the pulse is different, like 1 2 3 1 2 1 2, and it's okay. The beat, we have like, take India, take I don't know, Africa. I'm not saying we have the most complicated rhythms, but the vibe is because it's old and it's different.
Yep.
When you play it.
Is it like challenging, like taking bits and pieces of all the experience and everything that you've played?
Well, it is, yeah, it is. For example, most of my songs, even they come from my early childhood, which is very interesting. So usually in live, you can't, unless you're a pop producer and you make music in the studio for 3 minutes. A really special song stays with you for life. Like most of my stuff are very early when I was a child and I was playing on the piano. And then I remember them and I tried jamming over them and they sound great on guitar.
Yep.
It's challenging. It's takes time. But if you don't have boundaries, if you don't push yourself, or it has to be like this, or it has to have that, or it can be modal. It can be in 2 chords. It can be in 1 chord. It doesn't matter. As soon as it sounds good. It doesn't have to have a specific form. Most of my songs, they're all different in a way, but similar within the story. The story is the same.
So you're talking about like pushing the boundaries. How much of that have you done throughout, not just in your music in general, but in your life? How much have you pushed the boundaries to kind of motivate yourself to do the things you want to do? How much is it I'm pushing boundaries to explore myself, to see where I can take, where I can do the things that I want to do?
Well, a good example is I have something composed. I have a soundtrack composed for a movie.
Yep.
I mean, I never exposed that to movie producers or directors and movie tellers to show them my stuff. Maybe they can use it in a movie, but maybe.
Yep.
I'll do that. That's pretty heavy when you sit on a piano and the synth, and then you use a lot of the studio work. But yeah, I did a whole movie in a song. So you can hear the steps, you can hear it's called Project Wolf.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm obsessed with wolves. But yeah, it's like my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Where
Where did the idea of having like your wolf, like having a wolf as like the animal that you chose, where did that come from?
Because it's different. We have it in Macedonia and you don't have it here. Second, it's they're very social animals and they're very similar to us.
Yep.
They care about their group, their pact and all that. And how can I say, they can go alone.
Yep.
The way. That's why I say the wolf is. And you know, funny quote, like they say, lion or tiger, they can dance in the circus.
Yep.
But the wolf never. Doesn't matter that the tiger is stronger than the wolf, but the wolf never dances in the circus. So you can't really control him.
Yep.
Maybe. Again, yeah.
How does that feel? Like, do you feel like you're the one who's going? You obviously feel like you're the one who's going to be in control of your own destiny, going forward. How does that feel for you, knowing that, as you said, like you have that freedom, and that you now know you have the experience and the ability to kind of go forward, express who you are, have the freedom to do the things you want to do. How does that make you feel as a person?
Feels great. Feels not always great. You always need someone to back you up, someone to help you on the road. But I don't know, I'm very happy that I don't play pop music and I'm playing jazz, fusion, rock, avant-garde music that I can write myself. I mean, when Pink Floyd did The Dark Side of the Moon, they were thinking about how people are gonna like it, or not really. They did it their own way, and then it's the legendary album and legendary band. Yeah, I have freedom, but too much freedom is never good.
Yeah.
It's but I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be boxed. Okay, I'm gonna play. Let's see, because I finished Jazz Academy, and then I have to go and play jazz standards only, and everything needs to sound. No, I'll put a rock beat over that, and then I will play the swing or stuff like that. So, as I said, we'll learn that all at the academy, and the culture itself in the Balkans is like that.
Yeah. So it's very much just having
Europe in general.
Yeah. So it's pretty much just learning the understanding, but at the same time, creating that ability to express who you are and be who you want to be.
Becoming a brand, becoming something unique, making something with your own signature. It's very hard. There are a lot of great guitarists, a lot of good composers and all that, but the original stuff is the hard part.
Yeah. Well, Deco, it's been wonderful hearing your story and learning how you do things. I'm sure plenty of people out there have learned. What's the best way for everyone to get in contact with you? What's the best way? How can we listen to your music and get in contact with you?
Well, we have a Facebook page on Jungle Fusion.
Yep.
Instagram at Jungle Fusion as well. Bandcamp, Jungle Fusion Official, and SoundCloud, Jungle Fusion again.